Today I'm going to be talking about the film Mud and how it shows adolescent autonomy. I'm mostly focusing on Elias and the different ways he portrays becoming more independent emotionally, behaviorally, and in his ways of thinking. Mud is about two young boys named Elias and Neckbone who finds a man living on a small island in an abandoned boat along the Mississippi River, which is in back of where Elias lives. This man named Mud is on the run from the police and state troopers for a crime that he committed, which was on behalf of his girlfriend Juniper. And he's currently looking for a way to escape, but not without seeing his girlfriend. After meeting him and hearing some of his life story and why he did what he did, the boys decide to help him despite the danger that they can get into. While all this is going on, Elias is dealing with his parents splitting up and the fact that he may have to move into town, which is something that he really doesn't want to do. Elias has to figure out his own feelings about love, loyalty, and growing up. The main concept I will be talking about is autonomy. The textbook describes autonomy as teens gaining more independence emotionally in their decision making and in their beliefs. The three types of autonomy, the three aspects of autonomy. Emotional autonomy is when teens depend less on their parents and start relating to them more realistically. Behavioral autonomy is the ability to make decisions on your own and carry them out. And cognitive autonomy is when you start forming your own beliefs and values. These definitions help explain the changes Elias is going through. Emotional autonomy. Elias's emotional autonomy shows up as he starts pulling away from depending on his parents. Since he knows they're separating, he doesn't go to them for help on what's going on in his personal life, such as meeting a new girl and conversing with a fugitive. Instead, he turns to Mud and Neckbone for advice. Another example of how Elias is becoming more emotionally autonomous is that his father and his mother both seek him out to explain the situation that's going on between them. This shows that he's old enough to be able to be invited into conversations that pertain around a relationship that is not his own. The textbook says it's common for adolescents to start seeing their parents as real people with flaws. When Elias finds out his parents will be separating, he becomes frustrated, disappointed, and emotionally hurt. In the film, we also see him putting a lot more emotional energy into his crush and into Mud's situation with his girlfriend Juniper. Behavioral autonomy. Behavioral autonomy is about making your own decisions, even if they're not always the best. In the film, Elias makes a lot of decisions without adult permission. Some of these decisions are helping a fugitive, sneaking out at night and traveling up along the river by himself, stealing a motor in order to help Mud escape, and lying to police officers. In the textbook, it explains that teens can think through situations, but their impulse control is still developing. This fits Elias perfectly because a lot of times he does things without thinking about how it's putting himself in danger. Cognitive autonomy shows up when adolescents start forming their own values and deciding for themselves what they believe. Elias does this throughout the movie. He doesn't automatically trust what adults say about Mud. A lot of the older adults in his life are telling him that Mud is someone that he shouldn't be around because he's a liar and he's done very bad things. But because Elias has his own thoughts and his own beliefs, he still goes out of his way to help Mud escape because he believes it's the right thing to do, and his loyalty towards Mud shows that. The textbook says teens start thinking more abstractly and about principles, and Elliot's belief in doing what he thinks is right is shown. But even when the risks show that too. Portrayals in adolescence. The film shows adolescence as emotional, confusing, and intense, but also full of loyalty and curiosity. Elias and Neckbone have a lot of freedom in this film, which makes sense because they're in a small rural area. So a lot of the things that they do, such as going out about themselves, starting work at a younger age, and being able to talk to people freely, is something a lot different than what you would see adolescents in like cities and how they act. In conclusion, the film Mud is a good example of how adolescents grow in independent areas across emotional, behavioral, and cognitive aspects of adolescence. Elias shows all of these as he deals with family conflict, relationships, and situations he gets pulled into by helping Mud. Thank you.